Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial on CSS where I'll be talking about pseudo elements. Well, in pseudo elements is used to style a particular line of a paragraph, a letter, or you add image before or after, or you add content before an element, before or after it. Then you can change the selection. So basically we have five. You have the first line element, first line. About the first line we have first letter, we have before, after, then we have selection. These are basically five that we have that's commonly used. Well, anyways, we're talking about pseudo classes. Pseudo classes used to style text and some other stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, in pseudo classes we have selector, just like pseudo elements. Pseudo elements use double column instead of one. You use double column. Then you put the pseudo class you're dealing with, the property and the value. In my last tutorial when I talked about the pseudo element classes, the pseudo classes I use, the selector uses only one column. But in CSS1 and CSS2, one column is being used for both pseudo element and pseudo classes. But the problem, but in CSS3, they try to eradicate the use of one column in pseudo element in order to differentiate pseudo element from pseudo classes. So they decided to put double column in CSS pseudo element and one column for CSS pseudo classes. So that's how to differentiate it. But if you use one column, I think it's still compatible. It is backward compatible, so it should work. Anyway, let's talk about the first one. The first one we're talking about. First, we're talking about, okay, come back to our HTML. I created a paragraph which I copied some text, from some textbooks, and I pasted it here. Then here I created another H2 tags here. Hello, how are you? Alright, so let's come down here. What we need to create is first, let's start the paragraph. Okay, type in the paragraph, then we put our the double column. What's the element we want to use? Basically, I told you we have 5, which is, let's talk about first line. Let's talk about first line. Talk about first line. Then what we need to do here. So basically, the element, since we are dealing with text, is what is going to work with every other property, text property. So you can test it, and it is definitely going to work. So you put property here. What do we have in property? Let's put color. Let's change the color to red. Then what else going to do about that? Let's change the font variant to small curves. Alright. Okay, you see? Works perfectly. And one other thing we need to do, we can change the first line of the text. We can change the first letter. We simply remove this. Reload. So we change the first letter to be this, and it's definitely going to work. Anyways, let's use the multiple. Let's use the multiple one. All right, let's copy this. Paste it here. Let's change this to first letter. So we combine first letter with the first line to use multiple pseudo classes. Then we remove this. Yes, let's put on font size here. Let's make a font size. You can specify whatever you want, but I'll be using extra large. Okay, let's see. Alright, so let's change the color of this to very blue. You have to differentiate. So how do you like this? You can change the font size you like from extra large to whatever you want. So that's how to use multiple pseudo classes. Then we are done with 2, and we have 3 more to go. Anyway, the next one I'll be talking about is before and after. Now let's specify, you can add before and after, adding an image or whatever, adding content before an element in your HTML document or after it. How can we do this? Let's go to our A2 tag that we created earlier. Then we put our pseudo class. Then what we need to add, we use it before. Okay, before this, then we create this. When you are using before and after, it goes with the keyword called content. Then in our content, you specify whatever you want. Let me add an image. Okay, in this image, this is another way to add an image. You use URL, then in brackets, then you put the image in brackets. I forgot to talk about that in my HTML tutorial. I was talking about image or something. Anyway, so I think I have an image here called image map or something .jpeg or something. Okay, let's check these out. Alright. Okay, so this is how to add an image before. See, the image was first placed there, then the word followed is hello, how are you? That's before. And you can equally change this to after. Okay, I think it's going to make sense after. Alright, so the text will be pasted first, and then the image will be added next. So I copy this image from a web page like that or something. So this is how to use before and after. And one other thing I need to show you is the selection. See, an example of this is if the user is selecting a text, naturally it turns blue, white. It actually turns blue, white. See, I'm selecting a text, so it automatically turns to blue, background color, and then it turns to white. Well, I can override this. To override this, you use to do elements. You use your double column, then to specify an element, then you put out selection. This selection is selector. Selector. I think this selector or selection. Alright, put selection. After selection. So you put let's say color. Color should be black. We like black and yellow, so we may put background color to be yellow. And background color to be yellow. So it can be black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Anyways. Alright, so you see. Oh, it's already black then. Okay. So the default color is black, but let me change that to red. So it can be red and yellow, red and yellow, red and yellow. Okay, reload. Red and yellow. We already use red, so let's simply use what color? Give me a color. Oh, okay. Let's use blue. Let's use green. Alright. Okay. This is nice. So that's how to override this. So that's all about pseudo classes. We talk about the first line, the first letter, after, before, and now selection. Thank you for watching my tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Sorry for my mistakes. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget.